And video 2, Tyrese Tycho comes in with a response. Welcome in the club of disappointed Subnautica fans. I agree with nearly everything except the reuse aspect. They can reuse whatever they want since Subnautica is pretty good, but please, not in a smaller scale than that while asking the same price. The core gameplay still works well. I'm listening to Doom and I'm like, the gore gameplay, and the rip and tear is coming out, and the core gameplay works well, even if nearly everything is useless for the player. But if the core gameplay is only fun, oh boy, sneeze. I'm gonna power through it. But if the core gameplay is only fun for like a couple of hours, since you have seen everything the map provides and realizing everything is useless, unbalanced, mob density, and, in my honest opinion, a lot of misplaced creatures, and mainly only for story, the game loses its appeal pretty fast. Faster than every survival game I've ever played. Didn't play many though. The jukebox though. I didn't know JT Music before seeing and listening to their tracks in the jukebox. Now I have nearly all the songs from them. They are so good. I'm grateful for that. Tycho, you could have done a YouTube search for, Subnautica independent original music. But yeah, JT's got some decent stuff. Darth Cervantes. My bad, Mr. Cervantes. Don't Sith Lords at me. I guess it's a matter of opinion. I went into this game right after beating Subnautica with low expectations, after seeing lots of complaints, but it turns out I'm enjoying this one much more. I've gotten about 20 hours out of it so far and probably not even halfway done. Heck, I haven't even used the prawn suit yet because I'm having so much fun with the sea truck. Sorry you didn't like it, but I really hope they continue this amazing franchise. I'm honestly glad that somebody likes this game so much. Catalytic. This gentleman, this guy hates my guts. You know what? That's not fair. I don't think it's even that personal. This guy just really does not like me. I think it stems from a misunderstanding last year. But I digress. Let me read his post. Catalytic called Below Zero a missed opportunity. I have no problem with reusing assets from Subnautica. Altera is the same, and so is 4546B. We should expect some standardization in the resources and the blueprints. Yes, I'd have hoped they'd make better use of the different flora and fauna within the game to make crafting more interesting, but like Altera's Apple aesthetic, they went minimalistic so everything works off of titanium. It's a missed opportunity. They also should have paced it better. In Subnautica, you got a new recipe as you explored shipwrecks and found them. There were dozens of spots to explore, 23 to be exact, and your gain in power and ability was slower. In Below Zero, you go to a handful of spots, scan everything, and get huge boosts in power that feel unearned. They should have spread it out so the blueprints felt like a real reward. They also seem to have replaced power gain with cosmetics as rewards. They took out the giant submarine in epic reward, but we got 6 beds. They took out the stasis rifle that let us control predators in epic reward, but we got a toilet and shower. They even took out the ultra glide fins, the ultra glide swim fins that made you go faster. There's no sonar, no energy efficiency modules for the vehicles, and no need for them because they don't drain power aggressively enough to need it. No hull reinforcement because the predators don't hit hard enough to want it. And just to note out, I think the hull reinforcement was only for terrain-based collision damage, not predator damage. I thought the same thing. I'm not against the cosmetics at all. I think they're a fine addition, and I appreciate them reaching out to the community to bring their fan art to the game. But they took out so much of the core adventure game experience to do it. I like the game, but it could and should have been much more than it is going to be at release, and it annoys me to see something that could have been great end up being a mediocre game slapped on a great concept and beautiful art. The very big Brzezinski. It just seems uninspired to me. It lacks the central idea to unify its elements together. This disunity pervades the game. Its survival crafting gameplay is just next year's model of the previous game. Its aesthetics diminished and artificial. Its plot is that of a walking simulator where the protagonist simply walks to places and picks up discarded PDAs. Its characters are flat and shallow, their motivations unexplained, their decisions baffling, their interactions pompous, tedious, and trite. The world building is internally inconsistent and externally schizophrenic. The themes range from absent to, I assume, unintentionally repugnant. The mood is akin to one of those episodes of Doctor Who you've decided not to think about anymore. None of it fits or works together. None of it hooks you besides the dim hope that somewhere, if you push on, something might happen to recontextualize this shambles into a sensible and satisfying experience. Perhaps the ending content will do this. It's not impossible. Right now, though, it feels like a game that got made only because nobody in charge recognized the time to change course or cancel it before it was too late. Maybe this is always fated to happen. We always want that superlative sequel, the Majora's Masks and the New Vegases of the world. The success for the original sets the bar so much higher for its would-be successor. How do you even follow up a game like Subnautica? I can tell you how. Survival crafting game fans lauded it for its unique environment. Mainstream gamers held its story as the crucial element that helped mature a genre otherwise pockmarked by early access failures. How do you even begin to replicate the alchemy of that first game that pleased them both so well? And what of the developer's own ideas? What experience could you want to create that requires the Subnautica name for context? What are the chances you can catch lightning in a bottle twice? Are you sure some other competing game isn't already doing it better? A game with Vikings and noisy deer, perhaps? Thought him. If Below Zero is a dud, oh well, it's not worth dwelling on. Hundreds of new games are released every week. One bad game does not constitute a problem for players. There are too many games to play already. Catalytic replies, how do you follow up Subnautica? You create the formula that worked and expand it. Off the top of my head, you're part of a recovery team sent by Altera to salvage the Aurora and Sunbeam wrecks on 4546B, and I think that Catalytic has contact with me somehow through one of our shared mutual friends, because I said that a couple days ago in private. A Subnautica sequel where we're sent to salvage the rest of the Aurora and to completely recover all Altera property. That's exactly what I said. Something happens, meteor storm, gamma burst, whatever, and you're knocked off course, landing in the deep Arctic waters of the planet. Again, you're in survival mode, but this time you've landed in Precursor land. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, that's a long post. Something happens. Again, you're in survival mode, you're in Precursor land, you explore the biomes, but also run into the remnants of Precursor cities. Precursor experience becomes the story. What are they doing in the first place? Create conflict between the sentient beings. What is a hive mind doing on the planet? Did they consume it? Are alien warp gates your path off the planet? I'm going to do a quick little scan. I'm going to scroll down so that you can pause and read Catalytic's ideas. These are all good ideas. I'm not going to cram out a third video to voice them all, but this is just one. This is one topic. I'm going to refresh it. It's got 12 replies. I mean, I'll make a couple more Let's Talks. I'll put my own opinions in it. But these two videos, this is me reading off other people's opinions. Man, y'all have a nice day now, you hear?